everybody, this is Rustin Rose with Metalholic Magazine and Access Entertainment, talking to Todd La Torre of Queensryche here in Boise. It's about time, 3 years,
right?
That we've been trying to get you over here, so it's exciting. You're going to be here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank
the new
you.
album, Condition Human, coming out shortly. The big tour with Scorpions. Got a lot on your plate right now.
It's been a busy year.
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, I'm so excited for the album to come out. Because last time we talked, you said, you know, it was a lot of great stuff was happening. You were hoping to get a little bit more heavy on that, so we'll talk about it here a little bit as we go. So, the new record, instead of me asking you 20 questions about it, you just tell us about Condition Human.
Well, we recorded a total of 15 named tracks. You know, there's no fat or filler on it. A lot of the songs, it is heavier in many ways. There's a complexity to the songs. There's a lot more layers happening. You know, vocally, because of the nature of the songs and how they ended up kind of evolving, allowed me to do vocal things that I wanted to do on this record that maybe people haven't heard me do. You know, we're very proud of it. It's definitely pure Queensryche. You know, I can say that I really feel vocally, because that's what we're kind of talking about, is all of the songs, but from what I, you know, was able to do on the record, you know, it is definitely 100%, you know, Todd La Torre vocally. I was able to, like I say, do things that were a little more gritty and aggressive, to some very kind of breathy, falsetto type singing on the intro of one of the songs. You know, some of the songs break down to where I'm able to do a lot more of that slower, haunting, emotional style of delivery that I like to do. And the lyrical content is very deep, and you know, it's a record that I think people are going to get more of with each listen. That's how it was for me with Operation Mindcrime, for example. When I first got that record, I really learned to appreciate it more with each listen. There were things that I didn't recall hearing before. Oh, okay. And it really grew on me. So I feel that way about this record, and you know, we're really excited for the world to hear all of the songs.
And I don't believe this is a concept in any way, but is there sort of a, because the title itself lends itself to some sort of a theme, is there some sort of theme that runs through it a little bit lyrically?
It wasn't written as a concept album, but when we were discussing titling the record, you know, each song points back to human dynamics, and whether it's relationship things or their social issues, you know, talking about, you know, dealing with our own mortality, what is our purpose, and it really kind of, at the end of the day, we don't place a judgment on any particular stance or issue per se, but, you know, we ask the question, it reverts back to the listener, you know, how do you perceive the world around you? And our decisions are primarily based on our perceptions. How are we going to handle a certain situation? It depends on maybe your personal experience with in relation to a certain topic, that is going to be the foundation of how you view certain things. So it's a very multifaceted subject, you know, and that's why instead of, you know, the human condition, it's more of a diagnosis, like we're all human,
right?
You know, condition human, everyone's human, and you know, it's a lot deeper than first glance would maybe show you.
Right, and you just dropped the new single, Arrow of Time, to the Pledge. You guys did the Pledge campaign.
Right.
Did very well. You guys got to be, that had to be a little bit exciting, and then, you know, a little nerve-wracking, wondering, are we going to get to where we wanted to be, and how's that work for you? Yeah.
Well, it was great. You know, there's been I've done a lot of interviews and people talk about the pledge thing and they think that it was funding the recording costs. It's not true. In fact, Michael did an interview recently and it was misquoted.
Right.
You know, what he was trying to say in that interview was, look, a lot of bands don't have the record advances that there used to be, and so they find other creative ways to generate revenue to offset what they're not getting. Century Media is our record label. They've been amazing to us. They funded the album. And the things that we offered on Pledge were unique packages that are for a limited time, that were only going to happen in support of the launch of the record. And you know, going back to Arrow of Time, you know, it's the album opener. And some people have said, is this what we can expect on the record? No.
Part of what you can expect.
It's a sliver. It would be like saying, you know, is Silent Lucidity what we can expect off of Empire? No. It's one song among many. We like the song a lot. It's a great driving song. You know, and that's just one cool song that we have among the total 15. There are different, there's a standard, there's a double vinyl, there's also another thing that is happening where the other bonus tracks will be featured. So what publicly was announced was only 12 tracks, but there are 3 more tracks that will be out.
And Michael and Parker have really done some amazing stuff on this album, but you, now having that first album under the belt and everything, you sound a lot more confident in your role and everything that's going on, and it really shines on the record.
Well, thank you. Like I say, you know, we had a lot more time to build the songs, and then of course a lot of credit would go to our producer, Chris Zeus Harris.
I was going to ask you about working with him.
he was great because he's a musician.
Right.
So it was really great to have a producer that's also a musician that can grab the guitar and say, hey, you know, what about this chord progression? And he played some keyboards on some demo stuff for us to, you know, he went back into the catalog and said, you know, what about a cool harmony here? This is what, when I think of Queensryche, these are elements that he wanted to bring back. So it was great to have someone who was a fan of the band, who appreciated the style that is Queensryche, and the production quality, sonically speaking, sound amazing. And so I really feel, and we've talked with other interviewers that were privy to the download link from our label, that have heard the 12 songs anyway, and said unanimously, you know, this sounds like Queensryche, but today.
Right, that's exactly the feel I got.
So that's really, you know, what we were hoping would translate, is that these are elements that are pure Queensryche, and, you know, but with a modern approach. We don't want to sound like 1986. Queensryche has a very unique style and sound, and I think that Zeus did an amazing job respecting those while also allowing me to be me. And, you know, there's kind of that double-edged sword for me, because it's like, if I sound too much like the former singer, then I'm a copycat.
Right.
If I sound, you know, too different, then, well, this doesn't sound like Queensryche. To me, this is a great infusion. It is how I sing. It is my style. You know, and I wear my influences on my sleeve, and those have kind of morphed into the stylistic qualities that I naturally write to now. So again, to me it sounds very current, and sonically, you know, the album just crushes. It sounds huge and full and thick and dynamic, and it's not ear fatiguing, you know, so we're very happy about it.
And that was sort of my last question anyway, was when we talked last, you said you're pushing for a little bit more heavy on this album. Did you get a little more for yourself?
A lot more. You know, heavy in terms of Queensryche heavy.
Right.
You know, I would never try to incorporate, you know, extreme metal components. You know, I mean, in my own stuff, I like to do more guttural stuff and, you know, stuff that's not Queensryche. I would never compromise the integrity of what Queensryche is. However, on songs like Hellfire, you know, I did high, clean screams. And, you know, I remember Zeus saying, you know, do it the way you would normally. Don't try to sing it clean and pristine. Do it your way, which has a little more grit on it. And when I did that, aha, there's the attitude, there's the, and it really sold that part way better. It's a little deviation from the very clean vocals that always were, but you know, this is a new Queensryche.
Growth is important.
And we have to do what we do. And so, you know, yeah, it's, I wanted the record to have heavier elements, and it does, without being over the top. And look, I don't dictate how the music is going to be. Collectively, we all worked on it, and that's just the vibe that it took on. And so I couldn't be happier.
And you look like you were having a hell of a lot of fun in the studio, which is great to see.
We had a great time. No pressure, just a lot of fun, and it was a great experience.
Awesome. Todd La Torre of Queensryche in Boise tonight, getting ready to head out on tour with Scorpions here shortly. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you very much. Thanks.